Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 strategies to help you achieve a so-called flow state while working on important tasks. Achieving a state of flow has several benefits, such as achieving a sense of accomplishment, productivity, enhanced learning, an overall sense of happiness and fulfillment, and the list goes on. Flow can be described as effortless engagement in a task. It can feel like time is fading away or flying by, distractions are non existent, and it can even be difficult to stop working. Let's go ahead and hop into strategy number 1, which is to find an activity that provides a sense of purpose, meaning, and intrinsic motivation. If the task you have at hand does not provide much satisfaction or meaning to you, then you'll be unlikely to enter a state of flow, especially if your brain does not have much experience consciously creating that state. For example, if you hate washing dishes more than anything in the world, then it might be best for you to search a state of flow elsewhere in your life and then work on expanding that headspace and mindset into the other more mundane areas of your life, like washing dishes. There's a difference between working on a task because you have to and working on one because it actually provides joy and self fulfillment. For me, I find a lot of joy and self fulfillment in practicing and learning piano, and it's pretty easy for me to enter a state of flow while sitting down at the keyboard and learning new songs. Every practice session, I'm either expanding on my current knowledge, building on that, or learning something completely new, and that provides a great sense of accomplishment, and it makes me want to come back to the piano day after day. And that sense of accomplishment can be found in something as simple as playing the piece with one or two less mistakes than I had the first time I played it that day. After all, making mistakes is one of the best ways to learn, as you'll better know how to adapt when you face similar challenges in the future. And this brings me to the next strategy, which is to find tasks with the right level of difficulty. I'm going to be using piano as an example quite a bit in this video because playing an instrument is really a great way to strengthen your ability to enter a flow state. So here we go with that piano example. If you've been playing piano for 5 years, then you're probably going to struggle to find a state of flow if you're choosing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star to be your piece for that day. It's going to be way too easy for you, and you're not going to make any mistakes, and you're not going to face any challenges in playing that piece, and it's just going to get boring and mundane, and you're not going to be motivated to keep working. On the other hand, if you're just starting out and you're a beginner player, then if you're choosing to play Fur Elise as your piece for the day, then you're going to make a lot of mistakes, you're going to barely know how to read the sheet music, and you're going to ultimately lose motivation, which is the opposite of what the flow state aims to inspire. But if you pick a song that aims to build on your current knowledge and expand on the skills that you already have in place, then making a few mistakes here and there is going to actually keep you motivated because you'll see those mistakes dwindling over time and you'll be able to hear and feel yourself improving, and you'll want to come back to the piano day after day. Feeling yourself getting closer and closer to the end goal is another vital strategy to employ when trying to achieve a sense of flow. And this strategy is to find progress markers in your tasks and projects so that you can focus more on enjoying the journey rather than just looking at the destination and seeing how far you are from it. Think about this for a moment. Our brains tend to drift away from the present moment at several points throughout the day or constantly, depending on who you are. Our mental energy is often spent dwelling on the past. The fumble in our voice as we said good morning to a coworker, toxic relationships that aren't even in our lives anymore, and other events that have transpired well before the present moment. We also tend to spend a lot of time thinking about the future, at the goals and end destinations that we've set out for ourselves to reach. We think, oh man, I can barely play these simple chords. How am I ever gonna play that complicated piece that inspired me to pick up the instrument in the first place? We can easily start feeling burnt out if we don't see ourselves approaching the end goal and making enough progress towards the things that are realistically going to take a very long time to achieve. Our minds love to live in either the past or the future, but it can be difficult at times to just bring it to the center, bring our minds to the present moment. Our bodies, however, are only ever in one place at any given moment. and that is the present. Our entire physical existence is only ever in the present moment. Now, our actions and current things that we're doing are guided by the mistakes and experiences we have in the past, and it's driven by the goals and futures that we've dreamt up for ourselves. But the actions that we are currently taking are only ever happening right now. So, if while you're attempting to enter a flow state, your mind is drifting towards the past or towards the future, worrying about if you're going to complete the task in the way you intend to, in the amount of time that you want, then there's ultimately going to be a disconnect between the body and the mind. This disconnect is a common culprit for harming our productivity, distracting us, and keeping us from achieving that most efficient and optimized state of flow. A great way to synchronize the body and the mind is to find frequent progress markers along the way. This conditions our brains to associate a sense of reward and accomplishment with the current tasks that we're working on, rather than waiting until we reach the ultimate end goal to reward ourselves and feel good and successful. Because if you wait until then, you're going to lose motivation before you ever reach that goal. You have to find ways to reward yourself and feel like you're making progress along the way. Don't let your mind get stuck in the future thinking about how I'm never going to reach this goal, and don't get stuck in the past worrying about the number of times you've failed at this kind of thing before. Just focus on where you are in the present. As long as you're putting work towards the thing and putting effort into the thing, then ultimately it's going to work out in one way or another. And if not, then you're going to learn from those experiences anyway, so you might as well enjoy the journey. Strategy number 4 is to find a quiet environment that is free of distractions. Now, some obvious distractions can be easily avoided in ways that you already know. Putting your phone on Do Not Disturb, keeping it out of the room, going to a coffee shop or a library to avoid the screaming children or barking dogs at home. Those are easy. But another source of distraction can actually be veiled behind the disguise of being more productive by multitasking. The brain can only truly focus on one thing at a time to the best of its ability, and just like a computer, the more tabs you have open and running, the slower your performance is going to be, and the more your productivity is going to suffer. Now, of course, we can have things running on in the background, but we should only have one primary focus at a time. In fact, there have been many studies done that have found several negative effects associated with multitasking or context switching. Some studies found that on average, most people only spend about a minute and 15 seconds on a task before some kind of interruption. The drop in productivity caused by multitasking costs the global economy an estimated $450 billion every single year. And multitaskers take about 50% longer to finish a task than those who are able to focus and enter a state of flow. Now, multitasking can seem like you're making progress towards multiple goals at a time, therefore you are being more productive, but in reality, you're just hurting your productivity. And you'd get much more done, and the quality of the work is going to be a lot higher if you really just focus and dive into one thing at a time and give yourself time blocks to focus on those separate things rather than trying to do them all at the same time. If you want to enter this ideal flow state, then only focus on one task at a time and do your best to minimize distractions and other tasks so that you can really focus in on the primary objective. And a great way to train your brain to block out potential distractions and just focus on that one thing is to employ strategy number 5, which is to practice mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness can be defined as a mental state achieved by focusing one's attention on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. Mindfulness has an extremely long list of benefits, such as reducing stress, improving working memory and focus, reducing emotional reactivity, improving cognitive flexibility, and the list goes on and on and on. And a great way to improve mindfulness is by practicing meditation. You can find an infinite number of apps that will help you with guided meditation, along with a wide range of free YouTube videos that will do the same. Meditating reels in your thoughts and brings them to the present moment by focusing your attention on bodily sensations, your breath, your environment, and other things that are just here and now. This helps create a sense of clarity, which is extremely beneficial when trying to find that flow state of work. If you train your mind to repel unwanted distractions during meditation, then you'll grow the ability to keep unwavering focus on your tasks throughout the day. That about sums up these 5 strategies on how to achieve a highly desired sense of flow in your work and daily tasks. And if you'd like to hear more strategies and tips on how to improve your productivity and get more done, then make sure you like and subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. And that's all I've got for you today. Have a good one, guys.